So welcome everyone to this program information session for Make a Change Canada and in French, Forum en Changement Canada. Today is Thursday, March the 12th, 2015. Thank you for joining us. I am Anne-Marie Edgar and I am the Executive Director of Make a Change Canada. I'm joined here today with my colleagues Douglas Tardif, who is the team leader for the Business Abilities Program, and Mary Alton, who is our Service Coordinator. Also, Kayleen Selig, who is our Technology Coordinator, is here to help us during this session. Welcome, and I hope you enjoy the session. What we're going to cover today, first off, is to take a look at the history of Make a Change Canada. Secondly, we're going to take a look at our geographical reach as an organization, and then our guiding principles. Then we'll get into some of the detail. Who are our clientele? Let's take a look at that. And then our programming. First off, Web Essentials and Web Advanced. And then we'll look at Business Abilities, our other program. We'll get into some detail on our client success next. And finally, we'll tie up by looking at what's coming up at Make a Change Canada by looking at our schedule of events. At that point, we'll have a chance to get some thoughts or comments from you, or if you have any questions at that point, please feel free to ask. I know that most people that are joining us here today as guests are here to learn more about Make a Change Canada. So that'll be a really nice opportunity if you can save up some questions until that point. We have the three of us here to answer your questions today. So to begin, here's some history about Make a Change Canada. Well, to begin with, our theme is we're helping Canadians from coast to coast realize their full potential. So, I mean, within that, I think that just speaks to what a special organization Make a Change Canada is. It's a very caring, compassionate organization. But if you look at the top right, virtual learning, real world, we're also very pertinent. We're also about getting the task done. So we really key in and help our clients as much as we can on an individual basis. And we're all about helping people get a new start in life, whatever that may be. So that's really us in a nutshell. The organization began as the Canadian Society for Social Development, or CSSD, and was created in 2004 as a federal corporation by a woman named Kay Ryan. She's our founder. And then in 2005, we became a registered charity. So Kay initially started the organization separately, running the web development program for a couple years through a local Community Futures office. Now, Community Futures is a network all across Canada, and so as a result, we're really tied in closely with the Pan-Canadian Community Futures organization. Now, in 2014, this is a big year for us. It seems like a long time ago, but we went through the whole process of finding a new name for the organization. We held focus groups with people much like you in the room, and it was really neat. It was really neat to hear from people what the organization means to them as being participants in our program. So what we came away with was that it's a place of hope, and it's a place of support. Those are really the themes that came out about our organization. Through a lot of back and forth, we came up with the name Make a Change Canada, and we chose a bilingual name because we have close ties to the French communities across Canada. We do serve people in the French language as well, so we chose a bilingual name, Forum en Changement Canada. We are a virtual organization with employees in BC, Alberta, and Ontario. And to date, we have served over 1,900 clients. As you can see up in the top right-hand corner, we have a 10-year anniversary emblem. As a result of becoming operational in 2005, here we are in 2015, and we're now at our 10-year anniversary. So stay tuned. I'll go over some events that are coming up to celebrate our 10-year anniversary. So where do our clients live? Literally, we're a national organization, so we have coverage from the tip of Newfoundland to the tip of British Columbia, which would be Haida Gwaii. We've served clients in all corners of the country, and what you see in front of you is sort of the general dispersion, if you like to think of it that way. We get a lot of concentration of clients in British Columbia and Ontario. That's typical because those are where our population centres are mainly located. And then the Maritimes come next, and then Alberta, and then sort of a smattering across the other provinces and territories. That was actually a portrayal of the Business Abilities Program dispersal. This here is demonstrating the dispersal of clients in IBDE at that particular point in time. And again, it's quite similar, but I think we tend to get a few, greater concentration of clients within British Columbia than perhaps Ontario, but it's still very much national. I think it's important to talk about our guiding principles because as a charitable organization, it's really what we live and breathe each day, and it really does involve our clientele and community partners and who we work with as well and how we operate in this world. So I'm going to briefly review our guiding principles, which, by the way, we developed with staff input and board of directors back in, I'm going to say it was 3 years ago, probably 2013, 2012, 2013 now. So they're pretty new. Our mission statement, Make a Change Canada, develops and delivers business startup and web technology training to people facing challenges to employment. This training is delivered from our program websites and features a self-paced and supportive learning environment. Through our online curriculum and our skilled and caring service teams, Make a Change Canada is empowering others to realize their full potential. So that's really what we do. Now, what do we dream of? What would we like to become? That's the big vision. So our vision statement, at Make a Change Canada, we believe in the capacity of individuals to achieve. If we can awaken the passion within, we can achieve almost anything. Through research, collaboration, and thought innovation, we will be the leading provider of online training programs for people facing challenges to employment. We will be known as a compassionate organization and the destination of choice for those wanting to redefine themselves. In our work, we grow alongside our clients. This is a shared journey. Now, our mandate is really what guides us as a charitable organization and our activities, and it's really interesting because it's a two-part mandate. It's quite comprehensive. Our mandate is to provide employment and skills training to persons facing challenges to employment. So that's persons living with a disability or chronic health issue, youth, stay-at-home parents, older workers, Aboriginal peoples, New Canadians, LGBTQ individuals, and individuals living in rural areas, and to conduct research for the development of programs in the areas of entrepreneurship, leadership, and distance learning. So I'm going to touch on the research end of our mandate a little bit later. It's quite interesting. But as you can see, we serve all people facing challenges to employment. I've been one of those people in past, and I know what it's like. All the people from these particular categories, let's call them, come to our programs, and we enjoy serving each and every one of our clients. Our values, it's sort of interesting, but just briefly without getting into the descriptions, they're passion, quality, innovation, diversity, community, and enjoyment. And the full wording is available on our website. I just thought it was interesting that we came up with a value of enjoyment. So I put in a bit of a funny picture just to show you that we have a lot of fun together. We do enjoy working together. We enjoy what we do. And this happened to be our Christmas party from this past year where we took a bit of a picture and as we were having a light moment. So I thought I'd share that with you. So who are our clients and what brings them to Make a Change Canada? Our clients are individuals living with a disability, clients with a lack of formal education, that's pretty common, unemployed or underemployed people just really having a hard time getting sustainable employment, single parents, so that can sometimes tie in with a lack of skills or education because people have stayed home to care for their children. Small business owners and entrepreneurs, individuals living in rural areas, older workers, college and university graduates, and youth. So yeah, education's all over the map. People with grade 12 education or less, right up to PhDs. There's just a whole gamut. So I think that's really what makes our work so interesting, is just the clientele is so diverse, definitely. So our clientele is talented, determined, and savvy, and quite often educated, as I mentioned, but just literally stuck due to life challenges, life circumstances. And this just gives you a nice visual representation of the general diversity of clientele that come to our programs. But with flexible programming, the vast majority will succeed. So I have the great pleasure every year of going to the graduation ceremonies out at Selkirk College, and I get to meet with graduates. It's a wonderful event each year, and it's just really symbolic of the success that clients are achieving in really great numbers in our programs, actually. So yeah, there's really happy photographs to share for sure. Great memories for myself. Some of our clientele is very accomplished, and I just always have to add that wow there, because I'll just briefly explain each of these people to you and what they've accomplished. But before I do that, I also want to mention that I do have each and every one's permission to share their stories and their photographs with you. So first off, up in the top left-hand corner is Jean Oostrom. Jean has a blog called New Brain Living, and she is a survivor of a stroke but suffered a brain injury, and this is just her passion. She has a regular job that she holds down as well, and she's actually promoted. She tells me she was promoted as a result of completing IBDE. So she's an IBDE graduate. But due to her caring nature and what she's given back to society, she was the recipient of the Queen Elizabeth II Diamond Jubilee Medal a couple of years ago. So that was really fantastic and for Joan. Now, secondly, in the middle top and the top right is Donald Berry. And Don is a graduate of the IBDE program as well. Don has a real interest in writing and editing, in production. He's just a really strong writer, and I think that that's really his career focus. He maintains a blog, and Kayleen's put the blog address in the chat area for you, so you can go take a look. There's some really great stuff there. Now, Dawn, again, the same distinction as Joan, was the recipient of the Queen Elizabeth II Diamond Jubilee Medal. And he also got that opportunity to meet David Onley, who was the Lieutenant Governor of Ontario at the time, and George Mathopoulos. So this is just so thrilling, just so thrilling, a moment never to be forgotten in his life. So he was thrilled. And down in the bottom left-hand corner is Louise Russo. Louise completed our Business Abilities program. Louise had the awful experience of being shot as a result of a gang shooting. She just got caught in the middle. She was actually waiting to order a sandwich at a deli in Toronto. So what she did through the Business Abilities program was start an organization called WAVE, Walk Against Violence Everywhere. And Louise's organization gives grants to youth to have projects to act out, to speak out, to demonstrate out against violence. So it's a really wonderful cause. And we're currently just doing an update on her story, on Louise's story, which we'll be sharing in the coming months. So it's really nice. It's really nice. We do keep in touch with a lot of clients in the program and love to get updates. In the middle bottom, that is Lynn Mui. And Lynn is actually on our board of directors. She's an author, and she's a survivor of both addictions, living with addictions, and domestic violence. Lynn has written a series of books. They're all sort of themed around the term carousel, and you can search them out. If you have an interest in domestic violence, this is really, I really enjoy her stories. I would really recommend them. And she has, as I say, a series of 3 books. She's actually sold the rights to her book for a screenplay, and there are hopes that it will become a movie at some point. So that's Lynn. And then in the bottom right-hand corner is Dwight Thornton. Dwight's from New Brunswick, and he suffered a back injury because he worked as an arborist. So, you know, he was up on a tree and he fell, literally. But he has a passion and a background in foraging for food. So what Dwight's business started out as was fiddlehead and mushroom foraging, and he's successful with this. He sells the product as a food product throughout Canada and the world. But literally, Dwight's business has mushroom, much like the product that he's involved in. He has a mushroom hunting school. He has acquired an outfitter's business. He has worked with chefs on developing recipes using these food products. He has also written a book, Foraging for Wild Mushrooms, and he also appeared on the CBC special Land and Sea in a special on wild food. So that's also something that you can look up if you're interested in viewing it. So yeah, definitely wow. We're amazed, and this is just the tip of the iceberg. All our clients are amazing and accomplishing so much. We're just so proud, and we enjoy our work so much. So turning now to our programs, we have a web development program, and it's called Web Essentials and Web Advanced. It's an online college-accredited program in web technologies and design. So if you think back, that used to be your strictly web design, but the whole field has morphed. It's really changed and become more diverse, and I got to say, so has our programming as a result. Just in the name itself, it used to be known as the Internet Business Development for Entrepreneurs program. We still keep the IBDE acronym, but it's really become much more than just entrepreneurship. It's about getting a job. It's about taking what you're really good at and adding some technology skills and being able to start a new career, being able to get a job, being able to be self-employed as a result. So maybe taking some prior education, pairing that with some new technology skills, and seeing things take off better in your career. So that's the idea with our web development program. We're now in our 10th annual intake. It is a program that we deliver in partnership with Selkirk College, and we've been doing this now for 10 years. It's made possible through this partnership with Selkirk College, so the programs are accredited and fundable as well. So students can go out and locate funding in their communities by developing a return to work action plan, by doing some market research, and so on and so forth. So that's really great that it's a fundable program. A student could also, if they had an RESP, they could use that money, or if they had an RRSP, they could draw money through the Lifelong Learning Plan. So there are various ways. It isn't loanable, I will mention that. It doesn't qualify for student loans, but often that's an easy way then to be able to get it funded through other means if you can't get a loan on the program. That's usually a green light to other forms of funding. It's open to anyone meeting eligibility requirements. And to get into some specifics, that is a grade 12 graduation or an equivalent combination of education and experience. So it's a real accessible program to people who could perhaps not get into one of these more artistic 2-year programs where you need to go in with a portfolio. Maybe our clients aren't as likely to have the sort of money that program would cost. There's all sorts of reasons why this is a great fit for certain people. Our intake process involves a 30-minute interview and a basic skills assessment. We have a great completion rate in the program, averaging year after year around 75%. And when you look at other online programs, typically the success rate is 40 to 60%. So the reason why it is successful, of course, is the determination and talent of the clients in the program themselves. That's at the heart of it. But our program is also a supportive program. So we work together as a team, and if there are any students that run into difficulties, we pull together, we formulate action plans, and we support a student towards, hopefully, graduation and success. So it's just a part of what we do. In 2013, 100% of students graduated, and this year we're currently looking at about an 84% completion rate. So it's been a really fantastic year for the program this year as well. The benefits of the IBDE program are that it's flexible. It's an online program, so students can learn from home 24/7, work around whatever personal circumstances they may face. That could be a disability needs, such as experiencing chronic pain, having to take medication, laying down and resting. It could be anxiety issues. It could just be too hard to get out and attend the classroom in the community. It could be caring for children or parents. So there's just a gamut of challenges that actually our program really helps to nicely complement and allow a person to get an education. It's really interesting too when you think about it. We have a lot of clients who move while they're engaged in a program, and that just really can't happen if you're in a classroom-based program. Normally you couldn't move and still keep up with your education, but it's interesting how many people actually relocate while they're engaged in their studies. The program is doable. It's a streamlined 6-month program for the essentials and 4-month for the advanced. So again, just speaking to it being really doable for people who may not otherwise have the opportunity to engage in this educational experience. Students gain valuable technology skills that employers and customers today desire. I mean, we have the living example here. We've hired Kayleen, who's a graduate of the program, into our organization, and Kayleen is highly competent. She does beautiful design work. She can optimize files and images to be decent file sizes. She's just so competent with her technology skills, and quite frankly, that's what I as an employer want nowadays. So these are becoming essential skills to have good tech skills. The program is taught by qualified and industry experienced college instructors, and graduates earn college certificates. So because it's an accredited program, our graduates of the Essentials program earn a certificate in web technologies and design, and for the advanced program, a certificate in advanced web technologies and design. That's a lot of information. I do have one more page on the program. Just to get in a little bit more detail, really interesting, as I was alluding to, this isn't just about information technology. This isn't just about web design. It still is. People are becoming web designers. We do see graduates getting hired as junior designers and such, or starting their own companies. But it can be about getting a job in administration. So in a nonprofit as a receptionist, but hired because you can update the website. In marketing, becoming a social media coordinator. That's big now, a publicity coordinator. The reason why this is enabled, because that work involves so much technology nowadays. So we are seeing a lot of people with marketing backgrounds really having that take off for them. And working in business, if there's businesses that need e-commerce, somebody who can handle their e-commerce, this sort of thing. Again, website updates. Our graduates are competent at this sort of work. So really, again, I just want to reiterate that in today's world, employers and the buying public want to hire personnel with competencies in web technology. The program features online lessons and assignments, video tutorials, virtual classroom sessions, much like this, and discussion forums, so students can communicate with one another while they're moving through the program as well. There's a practicum component, and this is a really great feature of the program. Students build a custom design website for a business or organization in their community or for themselves during the program. So through the experience of designing a custom website, this sets a student up so that in future they can go in and work with WordPress and really understand. They have the background knowledge that's really important to be able to alter WordPress to work with CMSs. So there's a bit of a misconception that you could just go out and pick up and become a WordPress web developer. It's really a misconception, and I think that people are doing themselves a disservice if they just move into the field, and I think they feel a bit lost for sure and wouldn't be able to provide a competitive service. So through our training, people are getting the necessary underlying knowledge needed to move ahead. The skills gained are HTML5, CSS3, Photoshop, proper design technique, web marketing, PHP and MySQL web programming. Designing for mobile is covered, custom templating, and again, how to set up WordPress and work with a content management system. So that's covered as well. The fee for Web Essentials is $3,995, and there's a fee for the Adobe CS6 Design and Web Premium software, and $495 for each Web Advanced course, and there's 4 courses in that program. So the fee for the software just varies because it's very much based on market variations. So I just haven't specified that amount on this slide. Now, we're in our 10th intake of Web Essentials. So this June, the Web Advanced program will start, and there will be a number of students come out of the Intake 10 Essentials and move into the Advanced. So that's June the 1st. And then we'll start our Intake 11 for Web Essentials on October 19th, 2015. So a lot of information. I think I'll break just for a moment off my microphone at this point, and I'll see if Doug or Mary has anything to add. Were there any nuggets that I might have missed out on, Mary, or did you have any thoughts at all that I didn't cover myself?
Hello, everyone. I just thought I'd add a little feedback here. I'm sorry, I think we just had someone join us. Thank you so much. I appreciate you muting your mic. We didn't even have to ask. That's great. So just for those of you who might be wondering, okay, is this web design program something I'd be interested in? Really, if you have a passion for website development, that's huge. Obviously, the course is really geared to web development as a whole, but as Anne-Marie said, there's a lot of technology-related skills that are transferable, and because we have so many clients who come into our programs, and even yourselves that are here in this room, there's so many different things that you bring into any new set of skills that you're learning. So there's a lot that you've already done in the past, whether it be job-related, hands-on experience, or educational experience that can add to what you're going to learn in the program. So this is why we see people being able to get into areas that have web technology as part of that, if not the whole responsibilities that they're required to do as part of their job. But it gives you just a lot of opportunities, potentially, if it's something that you're really passionate about. And I think this is certainly an attractive program for somebody who is looking to get entrance into the technology sector. You don't have to have a strong background or base knowledge in web development to take our program. And there's a lot of people who come into IBDE that, for whatever personal reasons or health circumstances, they're just not prepared to engage in a 2 to 3 year diploma program, certainly one that's, in class and they have to get to campus every day and add the studying time on top of that. So, I think online learning is certainly becoming more and more popular. And from my experience, the students that take our program really find that the flexibility, while still being able to get formal certification through a college accredited program, is huge. And as well, just still knowing that while they're working online and working independently, they still do have a support network. They have the instructors that they can contact. They have administrative support staff that they can reach out to throughout their academic studies. So as much as it's online, I love that our program is not completely self-directed. And I've taken programs myself before in the past that, you start the program, you have 6 months to complete it, but you're really on your own. And maybe you can post a few questions here and there, but, you don't know who's going to be answering them. So for me personally, with my learning style and just my own needs when I'm doing any type of post-secondary education, this is really attractive for me to know, okay, I'm gonna have to push myself, I'm gonna have to manage my time and put my time in studying, but if I'm really stuck, there's somewhere that I can get help and somewhere I can get qualified help and the answers I need to help me through my coursework and really understand what it is that I'm learning. So yeah, again, we have a vast and diverse group of people who come into this field, some with absolutely no technology background, but just see this as a great way for them to start the next journey in their career or the next path in their career. When some people who have just been lifelong lovers of computers and technology and just see this as, the next logical step for them, to keep current on where the market are, what the trends are. So I certainly invite you to get in touch with us. If you have any questions, if you want a little bit more information about the program, what it's all about, please just get in touch with us. We're happy to give you some more information at any time. So thanks for your time.
Thank you very much, Mary. That's great. I see that Catherine has a question. I am going to save that till the question and answer period. I'll have it in the back of my mind, Catherine. So moving along then to Business Abilities. So Business Abilities is an online program in entrepreneurship and career planning where clients research their business idea, prepare their financials, and produce a business plan. Now the thing is that a person may decide against becoming self-employed as a result of the exploration process in Business Abilities. That's why we include a career planning component. And in fact, quite a number of our participants do become employed rather than self-employed through the Business Abilities program. Business Abilities is funded through Employment and Social Development Canada, Opportunities Fund for Persons with Disabilities. The national program, so it's a nationally funded program, and it is available free of charge to people who self-identify as living with a disability, and that's now 15% of our population in Canada. So as opposed to the IBDE program, which is open to anyone, Business Abilities is specifically for people with disabilities. The program, just like IBDE, it's flexible. Clients can learn from home 24/7. Communication with their business coach is through Skype, email, telephone, whatever works is available. And another real benefit is that the program is structured and individualized. So each client is assessed on their own merit, on their own background, on their own resources and capabilities and what have you, family support, all this sort of thing. And we come up with an individual service plan that we provide to each client in the program. We agree on the service plan with the client, and again, it's based on their own individual assets, needs, and circumstances. I've got to say that probably the biggest benefit of the Business Abilities program is our amazing coaching staff. We have exceptional business coaches working in the program, true entrepreneurs. They've been through all scenarios in business. They know your accounting, your legal, your bookkeeping, your day-to-day, your marketing. And that's really the benefit of the program, is having that one-on-one contact with somebody that you can bounce ideas off of and have them review your business plan and your financials. So yes, we can review financial documents and business plans and help them get in that condition that they're ready to present to a potential lending organization, a bank, a microfinance organization, or even we stand by this, that even if you're not going for formal funding, maybe you're just going to your family for $500, you just need that little bit of money to get started in business. Even if you're self-funding yourself, you're going to be using your own money, you need a business plan. It may only be 1 or 2 pages, but you need to feel confident that you're actually going to be able to make some money at this and pay your bills. Otherwise, it's really not worth it. So the business coach is there to help you through that step by step by step. We can also provide additional business mentorship support during the business startup phase. Participants earn certificates of completion, and again, we meet our targets for program outcomes year upon year. It's another highly successful program, again, operating for 10 years now. The details on Business Abilities: it features online learning content and worksheets, and weekly or bi-weekly sessions in GoToTraining. There are advanced modules also available. There are more than 30 advanced modules on topics such as how to collect and still keep your client, record keeping for small business, promoting your business online, and customer service essentials. Those are just a few of the topics. It's quite far-ranging. There are also extra e-commerce tutorials for clients in what we call phase 2 of the program, on how to build a quick website and how to create a web store. So those are good for people who choose not to go into this IBDE and do the web development program. The service is available bilingually in both English and French. Now, I mentioned at the beginning that part of our mandate is to conduct research. And we did a really extensive research project during 2012-2013 where we surveyed quite a large portion of clients who had been through the Business Abilities program. And we questioned them about the characteristics, personal characteristics, how they gauge their quality of life on a number of different measures, and the quality of the program. And the results have been very valuable for us as a team and really enlightening. For instance, we found that our clients live with a high level of chronic pain day to day, so that was highly reported. Yet, it was also highly reported that our clientele enjoys their life to a significant or great degree. So there just seems to be this difference in realities, and I just think it really speaks to the amazing clientele we get into our program. People are really determined and obviously are looking on the brighter side of life, but to a real great degree, there's a lot of chronic pain among clientele in the program. What came out about the quality of the program, the most important thing is the coaching staff, the responsiveness. Having that personal support is a huge benefit to the program, and the clients rated our coaching staff highly, so that was good to see. We presented our research results last January in Ottawa at the National Career Conference, which is Connexus. The only other thing I should really mention about Business Abilities is that the intake is continuous. So we generally are bringing new clients into the program about once per month. There's a bit of a waiting period involved in terms of some paperwork, as some of you are already aware, but some paperwork that we have to get together, and we have to gain consent that we can communicate with the government on your behalf, type of thing. Okay, so at this point I am going to turn the microphone over to Doug. Mary, if you have any comments about the Business Abilities program, if there was something that I didn't quite touch on enough, please let me know.
I think one of the benefits of the BA program that I've found over the last 8 years is that it's continuous intake, as you mentioned. It sounds like, well, what is this a big deal? In many of the self-employment courses that are being offered in a classroom, for example, there's a finite period of time. You must start in August and complete it by October. There are dates and highlights that have to be met by certain dates. One of the features of the program that we offer is that you start it at any time. You work at a pace that's comfortable for the individual. We have people with chronic pain, for example, as Anne-Marie mentioned, and perhaps they only have a certain amount of time during the week. Well, we don't penalize you for that. We allow you to work at a pace that is extremely comfortable for yourself. Also, we will allow you up to, let's say, a year, and sometimes under certain circumstances it may take longer than a year for the business plan to be completed. The other part of the program that I really enjoy is we've got the advanced modules, etc. Now, I'm going to simplify that terminology a little bit. Once you've created your business plan and the individual has made the decision to actually go into business, we continue with the business coaching with that individual through the startup phase, etc. And I know for Chantal and Jim and myself, that's the most exciting part for us, because we're seeing something tangible, we're seeing some reality of all this work that you've put into your business plan, and suddenly something is taking shape and you're going to be self-employed. It's a very exciting time. We have a category which we call aftercare. And these are individuals who graduated from our program. They're launched, they've been in business, but they really don't want to lose the contact with the business coaching staff. They want to maintain an alliance with the organization, and we allow them to stay in the program, contact us from time to time. I've got one, no, more than one. I've got several clients who've been in the program for many, many years. I hear from them perhaps once or twice a year, and it's usually just for some counsel and some advice, or perhaps to toss over some ideas. And I really enjoy having them in the aftercare program, and it's refreshing on my part to hear from them. I feel a kinship with these individuals, and it also speaks to the fact that we're both doing a great job. I think the coaching staff is doing a great job. I think the individuals who are out there creating businesses, and if they've been around for 4 and 5, 6, we have some clients that have been in business for 7 and 8 years, and they're prospering. They're doing something right as well, and perhaps we contributed to some of that success. So it's a wonderful program. Everything is state-of-the-art. So if we've got new technologies taking place, the social media didn't really exist when we first started the program. We're using it extensively now. If the client, you as a client, you'd rather prefer to talk to us on Skype, we can do that now. That's not a problem. So all kinds of different openings are there for us to communicate. There are all kinds of other things out there as well, LinkedIn and Facebook and all of the other business-related ways to communicate. It's a wonderful world. It's inexpensive, and we're really excited about working with individuals who are highly motivated to go out and actually create a business. So that's all I'm going to say. I'm going to get rolling here, so I'm going to stop before I run over time. Thanks, Anne-Marie.
Well, that's great, Doug. Thank you very much for capping off the Business Abilities program. So moving along, we're moving to the latter part of the presentation now. I want to talk about some specific experiences and results that have come out of the Business Abilities program. And I've got to say that our participants really knock our socks off. So there's just such variety of what people end up doing, and it's quite amazing. So first off, this is Cameron from Ontario, and he's a Web Essentials and Web Advanced graduate from 2013. Cam has a blog called cam.majorminor.ca, and Cam blogs actually about bipolar disorder. And I read every one of his postings, I watch for them. He's put out a video. He's got that on his blog site. I highly recommend going to this blog if you're really interested in mental illness and really want to get some insight into the experience of that person themselves. This is a great blog for that. Anyway, Cam has done really nicely after graduating. He wrote to us, and this just appeared in my inbox one day. He wrote and said, "Hi all. I've just got a bit of a, sorry, I'm not, Mary, maybe you could read it. My screen's not cooperating. Sorry."
Certainly, no problem. So this is in Cameron's words. Hey all, I've had a really good week. Here's some good news. Let me just move my screen over here so I can see properly. After notifying a job coordinator of my completion of IBDE's program, I received a job posting via email Tuesday. I contacted the company Wednesday and landed an informational interview the same day. I had a 15-minute meeting with the head of the company in the afternoon and started 8 a.m. the next day for a work trial. I finished a simple project for the company my second day today and made some good progress on a second project. At the end of the day today, I found out I will be able to officially start on Monday, November 4th. Looks like finishing school in a highly popular field was a great choice. The project I finished was building a new site for the small company. My boss is happy with it, but I think it could still use some work. Check it out at www.hightronic.ca. Also check back later for a new company logo. Any ideas or thoughts on the site or old logo would be appreciated. I wanted to thank all of you for your guidance and support throughout the past year. Completing a college program after failing to finish my university education was a great accomplishment for me. You have all been a really big help. Have a good one. Thanks, Cameron.
Thank you, Mary. I got my little glitch worked out here. Thank you. Yeah, so Cam always signs his emails. Have a good one. Cam's come back, and he's now in Business Abilities, and it's just a pleasure to have him back in our programs. This is Shirley from British Columbia. Shirley graduated from Web Essentials in 2009 and Web Advanced in 2010. She also participated in Business Abilities as well. And Shirley said, "This program saved my life, literally. I felt hopeless, and now I don't feel that way. I feel like I can control my destiny and do something to change my circumstances. It's a process. When disabled, you lose your self-esteem. I am a much better person now." So Mary had always said whenever she read this slide, she'd say, "We always thought that Shirley was an amazing person," and she is. She was always a great person. So she's very dear, a very, very dear graduate of ours. Colin from British Columbia graduated from IBDE Web Essentials in 2007 and Web Advanced in 2010. And he has a very successful web development business. He also does educational services, and he does web programming, and that's really what's taken off for Colin is the advanced courses that he took. And in fact, we hire Colin to do some of our web programming work, which is really nice. So anyway, Colin said that when I heard about the IBDE course, I wasn't working but was very intrigued about pursuing a career in website design. Through guided instruction, I mastered graphic and website design techniques. Throughout the course, I pushed myself to exceed teachers' expectations. The instructors of the IBDE course were always helpful to provide support when needed. They were very impressed with my internship project. Since taking the IBDE course, I have become more proficient and confident in developing websites. I have developed numerous websites since my graduation, and even my clients are impressed with my work. If it weren't for the IBDE course, I don't know what I would be doing as a career. The IBDE course and instructors have given me knowledge and confidence, which has shaped my career as a successful freelance website developer. And then we have Carol Ann from Ottawa. She completed IBDE Web Essentials in 2009 and again went into Business Abilities, completing in 2013. And Carol Ann works as a virtual business and personal assistant. So this is a little bit different than just a plain virtual a VA business, virtual assistant. She does some work for people on the personal end of things, such as arranging parties, sending out thank you notes, this sort of thing as well. Without this wonderful online program, I would not be achieving my dreams of being the proud owner of a business and website. Not only did it give me the knowledge to create and market a website, it gave me support, useful links, and the resources of a remarkable team. I look forward to taking advanced courses in the future. No risks when entering this program, just pure joy. This just ended up on Facebook one day. It was really amazing. She continued on. She said, did I mention that I live in Ontario and studying long distance had no issues whatsoever, even bypassed all the bus strikes across Canada. Only disappointment was missing graduation, but will definitely drop in when in the area. So I always said when I read this that I'm definitely going to drop in on Carol Ann when I'm in her area. And we had the great pleasure when we were in Ottawa in 2014 to meet with Carol Ann, and we went out for lunch and she came out to our conference and saw our presentation on our research. So there's some pictures of Carol Ann, and it was just a real highlight of the entire year to meet her in person. That's Doug and Mary on the left-hand side, and then myself with Carol Ann on the right. Now, something sort of interesting, I think, is that I began attending some interagency meetings here where I live, which is in the Kootenays in British Columbia. And there's a lot of poverty organizations. Poverty is becoming quite an issue in our country. And I was sitting there listening to some of the people speaking in the group, and I thought, actually our program also is helping to alleviate poverty. And these two stories in particular really touched me. And I'll just go ahead and read them to you. So first off, Kalinda from British Columbia said, it has been very difficult to come to terms with the changes in my life since the accident that left me with a brain injury 3 years ago. Programming in a quiet room is one of the few options I have now to contribute financially in my home. With this training, I have also been able to participate again in the business my husband and I built over the last 14 years. We are now able to offer web design as an option for our customers, so making a business more viable. Really nice. And then Willie, a website owner from Saskatchewan, said this program was very detailed and very instructive. The program helped us tremendously, and it will help us make a living. Being a disabled person, I need that because I can't go out to work. This program allowed me to set up a home-based business for me and my wife to work at home. So I just find those really touching, and they really speak to the value of programming for people facing challenges. And finally, I've already mentioned Kayleen, who works with us. It's a wonderful pleasure to work with Kayleen. I enjoy every day. She does all our recording in the classroom. So very, very competent. And yeah, I can't speak more highly of Kayleen. So she started out, she has her own website business as well. She also specializes in more of the marketing materials, putting together marketing materials, and she certainly does a wonderful job for us with that as well. So we were just having a welcoming session for Kayleen in our virtual classroom, and that's what the photograph is of. Finally, I won't really get into details here. There's no text to read, but this is some current graduates, what they've moved on to do. And I just think it's really amazing. We have a graduate, Fern Savo, who graduated from IBDE, and she was the artistic director of a website called martialartsforjustice.org. And now her role is actually the national campaign manager. So this is what I was speaking about earlier, where a career in marketing, pairing your marketing knowledge previously with the technology can really take off. So yeah, she's got a national position as a campaign manager working in the social media. So the program's really enlivened her career. I'm not saying that it happens overnight. It did take Fern, she lives here locally, so we talk every once in a while. It did take her a while to find her niche, but boy, when she found her niche, it's really taken off. So she's had a real career journey. Elizabeth Dirksen, really interesting. She has she's a university graduate with a Bachelor in Fine Arts, and she took IBDE, so a really interesting pairing is she has a business that sells designer clothing for small dogs, and it's just really neat to look at. You can really see her artistic ability coming through in her website. And then Michael Mannix has participated in both our programs, and Mike has had a number of ventures. He had eBiz Boomer, he had a blog going while he was taking IBDE. And he has now a blog, clearlyguitar.com. He's really picked up on one of his passions, and now he's able to blog really professionally and use the social media to build something of substance for himself. Wendy Anderson, a graduate of Business Abilities. What Wendy does is really interesting, and I'm a crochet, I have a background, that's my craft, doing crochet. And I like the same kind of crochet. Well, what Wendy does is she takes vintage patterns and she writes them in modern day language and makes them simplified and whatnot. And she sells them, and this is what she's doing. It's really neat to see. Martha Hook, she's been involved in both our programs, and she sells fairy gardens and fairy garden supplies. There's just a huge diversity, and these are just clients who have websites. I mean, we have graduates, one graduate, a fellow who's constructing transfer boards for people to move from their wheelchairs to their vehicles. It's really the whole gamut. I just wanted to give you a really good idea of, I guess, the variety and the life. It's just really, really interesting. So, just to tie up now, I want to go over what's coming up here at Make a Change Canada. We already touched on the start dates for the Web Essentials and Web Advanced programs. So June the 1st for Advanced, and we'll see many of our current students moving into the Advanced program and studying this summer. And then a new group of students coming in. Start date for Web Essentials is October 19th. 2015, and Business Abilities, again, it's a continuous intake, and there's about a 2 to 4 week processing time involved, so we do encourage people to sign up sooner rather than later. It's a great time to be joining the program as well. We will be having our annual student showcase and website competition this May 2015. We'll be awarding prizes to the winners. People who are current graduates are invited to participate, as well as prior year graduates, and it's really interesting to see the work coming in from prior year graduates and seeing people's skills develop over the years. And The really exciting news is, of course, it's our 10-year anniversary. So this year we're going to be holding an extravaganza. It will be telecast nationally, and it's planned for October 2015. We'll be using something called Ustream to stream the event. And we want to invite all clients, volunteers, board members, staff to participate, as well as community partners by attending. If you're inclined to provide a video and share your thoughts, your story, we would love to have you participate. So I just want to put that invitation out there. Do follow us in social media to stay attuned to the events, for sure, please. And again, Make a Change Canada is a registered Canadian charity. How can you help? A charity does not progress alone. So there's all sorts of ways. If you believe in us, please be a part of our community. Refer us, recommend us, follow us, help spread the word, attend a presentation or event, share your story. We love to hear back. We love to hear how things are going for you. Become a program ambassador. We have one volunteer program ambassador, and it's wonderful. It's wonderful to have that ongoing connection with a graduate. Consider volunteering. Consider a charitable donation, or if you have a family member or friend and they're wondering where they can donate, you could suggest perhaps that this might be a good spot, an organization that perhaps you believe in. So anyway, get involved, stay in touch for sure. I hope that gives you a good idea of what a charity really looks like. It's really not just our staff. It's about everyone who's involved. It really is a collective effort. So I just want to really make that known, that it's a community that you can be involved in. This is pretty much the final slide in the presentation. At this point, I'm wondering if anyone has any questions, thoughts, or comments, and perhaps what you found valuable in this session, what your takeaway would be. I am going to just start with the question that came up here regarding, it was Catherine. Are there options for disabled employment, such as other organizations, if they are not good with computers? So Catherine, that's a bit of a difficult question in the sense that we are mainly a self-employment organization. So I'm wondering if you're asking about programs, whether we're placing clients with employers and that sort of thing. Because some programs do that, we don't do that. We definitely help people prepare themselves to go out and meet with employers and do interviews. We know we have good knowledge of the labor market, but we don't place clients specifically with employers. Now that said, we are looking at or planning to develop our own social enterprise where there will be some opportunity for clients in the program, now I'm speaking about business abilities here, to do some work for that operation doing telephone work. So that could be, we have certain different types of customers and we make the arrangements. And a lot of our clientele is perfectly suited, and that would be great work for people to be involved in. So we do have that, but if I will turn off my microphone. If you wish to type, if I didn't quite hit your question, let me know. And yeah, if anyone else has any questions or comments, feel free to pick up on the microphone if you'd like. This is your opportunity. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you.
So we'll just take a minute and answer a question that one of our guests had in regards to IBDE in terms of the structure of the program. Now we do have quite a specific timeline for both of our programs. We have a start and end date for both of our courses, and we actually have weekly schedules. So generally students do need to keep up with the weekly assignment due dates that are involved in each of the courses. A big part of this is because it is an online environment, we find it works out much better if students have a better way to pace themselves. So if you know you have to accomplish so much work in 1 week, that's the time frame that you have to do it, and you can better pace yourselves. And this is also applicable to in your working life, whether it be working as a web developer or in some type of administrative capacity where you're doing this, or even for your own business. You really have to kind of work within certain timelines. So we do like to sort of focus on the fact that not only are you having to manage your time well in the program, but this is also going to be something that you're going to be able to carry over when you're running your own business or when you're working on a website development project and you've got to meet certain timelines. The wonderful thing is that the program is online, so you can sort of direct when you're going to spend time studying and reviewing your coursework and completing your assignments. Now, generally, we do consider the workload in both the Web Essentials and Web Advanced programs as full-time. Depending on the course within the Web Essentials program, it can be anywhere from 20 to 30 hours per week. The advanced course is 30 hours per week. But I would say on average for both of the programs, most students, for the majority of courses, because they are relatively involved and there's a lot to learn and practice, that most students can anticipate spending about 25 to 30 hours per week. So definitely a full-time commitment, but certainly worthwhile. I hope that answers that question. Feel free if you need a bit more information just to let me know if you need me to elaborate on anything there.
Okay, so Catherine said in response to my answer, she says, that helps. Is the telephone work paid and where can someone apply? What does the telephone work involve? Okay, so Catherine, it's all conceptual right now, so it's just in the planning stages. But we are building the business idea. We're doing business planning too. And it would be the type of work like perhaps doing surveys, interviewing. I don't know if you've done that type of work before. I have, so I know what that's like. It can also be taking calls from people who have seen an ad and then recording all the proper information for the business and passing that name along in a very efficient manner to the business owner. So very much like call center work, if you're acquainted with that, that's what we're planning. But definitely planning, and it's not operating right now. But do stay in touch. Catherine, is your coach says that IBDE has a subsidy. How much of a subsidy? That would depend on how it's being funded. So a person can be funded for IBDE through the skills development programs, and often those do provide a living support. So just let me know if that didn't answer your question. And then Virginia, so back to the time frame. You wanted to know, due to the fact that you have disabilities and that some days you're unable to move, right? Okay, yeah, that can be typical. People can sometimes work in spits and spurts for sure, but there are deadlines within the program, but you can work 24/7 when you're most able. It is a challenging program, that's for sure. Catherine, keep in touch with me. We might have some news on that maybe in about three months' time, but keep in touch with me about the possibility of us providing some employment through our social enterprise venture that's being planned. Joan, have you come up with your logo yet? Right, you were asking about that. What we've been using is a bit of an in-house version. We're just about there, and I'll definitely get that to you once we've got our mastered version. I'll definitely get that for you. Sorry about that. It needs to be a JPEG. Yeah, so is there any other thoughts or comments that anyone has at this point? Questions? Catherine, I'm wondering, I did mention that Louise Russo, oh, sorry, good, you finished your thought. Does she have any other programs? I need to speak with her again. That's all I'm aware of at this time. But Louise is very involved in a number of committees. She's on a number of boards. A research study. It's a very exciting research study for paraplegics that she's involved in. So she's very much involved, but no, I don't think we did speak about 4 months or so ago, and it was still the WAVE that she's involved in, WAVE. Mm-hmm. Oh, there's a good question, Michelle. Multiple sclerosis. Yeah, isn't curable. I don't know. All the power to you, though. Doug, maybe you have some input on advocates or that sort of thing. I'm not sure. Is there anything in your experience that you can add to Michelle's question?
I don't understand the question, quite honestly. Revenue Canada is the income tax side. MS isn't curable. I don't understand if the federal government is alleging that it is, or has indications that it is, or it needs more amplification. Oh, you have to fill out the same form every year. You can't. That's something you have to discuss with Revenue Canada, not with us. And I don't have no answer for that at all.
Yeah, I'd recommend contacting them, Michelle. Anything else? Any more questions? Thoughts, comments? Okay. So at this point, I'd like to conclude the presentation. I want to thank everyone for coming out today and taking the time to learn more about our organization, to pose your questions. You're a great audience. It's been really nice having you all here today. Just remember that we're here to help. We have a toll-free number you can always reach us at. Extension 1, you can get right through to Business Abilities, and extension number 2 for IBDE. It so happens that I'm in extension number 3, so I'm always your fallback if you'd like. Feel free to contact me anytime as well. I always love learning more about your situations, your challenges, your successes, just anything. It's just always nice to talk, so don't be afraid to give me a call as well. And there's our 3 websites. We'll have our new website ready as soon as possible, makeachangecanada.com, and of course Business Abilities and IBDA. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day.